Hey, good morning, Reg here, and welcome back to the blog. We are here on day 14. We are exactly 2 weeks into our 60-day raw food challenge, and I just want to check in with you guys. I have headed out to the Brooklyn Bridge this morning on a walk with my dog. Did a little bit of a run, but really focused on just being out in the air, and thought I'd do my blog entry from here since it's beautiful out. So yeah, it's beautiful out. It was a really interesting weekend. Finally treated myself yesterday to a trip out to a raw vegan restaurant called Organic Avenue. That's on the Lower East Side on Suffolk, just up from Delancey Street. And it's a pretty cool place, but there are lots of vegan restaurants all over the city, and something that I may have mentioned is that you have to really be careful when you get into the gourmet vegan restaurants and gourmet vegan cooking, because it tends to contain a fair amount of salt, and it can contain a fair amount of oils too, like olive oils, and they're things that aren't the least healthy for you, but it's not as healthy as just simply eating a raw vegetable, or taking a mango and a head of kale and throwing it into a blender and making yourself a nice healthy fresh smoothie. So just wanted to let you know about that. Interestingly enough, I ordered this great mushroom wrap, and I'm eating it, and I was just thinking, this is just too damn good right now. What if this is actually not a raw food item? And I was thinking of how I was going to have to apologize to you guys today about having not really made my challenge, because I ate some cooked food. But I went to the person who had served me the food, and who had actually suggested it as a raw food item. She suggested it as their most popular item, is what I'll say, and it's a raw food restaurant. And so I went up and I said, well, I didn't make it really clear that I was looking for raw food, and she said, no, it's raw. But again, sometimes the salt and the oils, you're cooking the food with the salt, and it's considered raw, but it can be, if you get too much of that, it's not as healthy for you as just sticking to raw foods. So I will say that. And another thing is, if you're going to go on a raw food challenge, be super vigilant about what it is that you're putting in your mouth, because something that looks raw, or something that you expect to be raw because it was being sold to you in a health food establishment, might not be all it's cracked up to be. And in fact, there are those who will tell you that if the package says it's healthy, it's probably not healthy. Otherwise, they wouldn't have to put the word healthy on the package. So just something to look out for. Again, I'm not a health expert. I'm not, a raw food expert, and I'm certainly not a nutritionist. So I'm not somebody who can, offer too much in the way of advice on how to eat healthy and how to be healthy. I'm just somebody who's doing this for myself. But those are some traps that I've noticed people can fall into, and it can kind of put you off your game in terms of trying to be as healthy as you want to be. Other than that, I got into a little bit of an argument a couple of days ago, and I found myself, there was someone who was being a little bit hostile to me at work, and that actually happens to me a lot. It has happened to me a lot in the past, because I'm kind of a host, and I'm, being Mr. Nice Guy, and I think what happens is there are some people who see that as an opportunity to mistreat people, and I guess, living simply these days, eating simply, I could only respond to it in the simplest manner, and that was just to say, in a very factual way, well, my workday's ended, and I'm done. So, next time come a little bit earlier, and you can be here before the shift ends, and you'll get more service. And I was really surprised that people weren't happy with that, and in fact, they, kind of tried to escalate it, and finally I just had to say, well, sorry, I can't really, I have more to say on it, and just passed on. But it was very unlike me. Usually I will be much more apologetic, and I'll be much more apologetic, and it was just really felt good to just stand up for myself as a human being, and not be dehumanized by someone who had decided that they were going to dehumanize themselves and going to be, someone who was going to behave in a way that was really just less than gracious. Um, so that was cool. So just maybe something to be said for when you start looking out for yourself from the inside. Uh, you may find that you have your impulses to take care of yourself on the outside increase as well. I don't know. It's just something that happened for me, and I'm sharing it with you. I hope that you guys have a really amazing day. This is Ray signing off. Day 14, Raw Food Challenge, 60 days. Peace.